Guys, the Wood Craftsman here. I'm actually on my way to my brother's house to utilize his shop to put on some new running boards or nerf boards or running bars, or you want to call them, on this 2014 GMC Sierra 3500HD Denali. His truck stands so high that they have a pair of nerf bars on it when I bought it. I believe they're OEM, but what I don't like about them is they don't have a decent step-to-step on it, actually. First of all, it's not wide enough. Second of all, it's way too close to the cab. And third of all, it's too high. So I did some searching on the internet, looking at various different websites for automotive accessories, and looking on YouTube, and one of the popular ones right now seems to be the iBoard, which is made by I think it's distributed or made by APS. Anyways, so I had actually ordered a set actually off of eBay. The price seemed to be way too cheap to be true. I have them in the back of my truck right now. Kind of surprised really as far as the quality that's in them so far from what I looked at. So I'm going to run over to my brother's house here. He's actually gone for the weekend, and he told me I could use his shop because he's got all the mechanic tools and he's got the floor space to work in. So I'm going to drop these running boards off there, and I'll probably set the camera up here. I've got it along with me. I don't know if I'm really going to do a how-to video, but just kind of maybe like you know, an overall maybe demonstration, if you will, on how these fit. And then I'll set the camera up, maybe just do like a time lapse. So I'm gonna go drop these off in the shop and go grab a bite to eat. When we come back, we'll get into the installation. Alright, I'm back at my brother's shop here, and I'm going to start the installation of the iBoards. They're a 6-inch, specifically fit for the GMC and I believe Chevrolet 2500 and 3500 HD series, with and without the Duramax diesel. So that's what I'm going to get next. I'm going to show you here the box, and just kind of how I've seen it in the past. I actually opened this up already, and in the process of one, I had opened it up. One of the sides had let loose, and I had dumped out all the brackets. Luckily, they were still wrapped up yet. So here these are. I'm going to get the cutters and break these bands. I'm going to go through the hardware. I was originally hoping that I could use the brackets over, but one of the things I don't like about these bars is there is no room here really to get your foot up without actually rubbing against the paint on the body. And I had a 2006 Chevy Silverado, which was the generation prior to this one, and the door frame was actually exposed down here. And so what I had was to replace this stuff with a Nerf bar like this here. I had literally wore all the paint off of the door frame on the exterior of the truck. Now, being that this is a Denali, which is like a $65,000 truck that I got a huge deal on, I want to maintain my investment. So that was one of the reasons I wanted a different type of running board slash Nerf bar. The other thing too is I want something a little bit lower and a little bit wider. So that's what I'm hoping I've gotten with the iBoard. So I'm probably going to clean these up and turn around and sell them on Craigslist, get a few bucks for them. For whatever reason, oh no, I'm right. This has 3 brackets as well. I thought this one had 4, but it was supposed to be a same fit. But part of me was hoping that the mounting pattern for the bolts underneath here that holds the Nerf bar to the bracket was the same dimension, but it's not, which is actually probably a good thing, because it actually forced me to use the iBoard brackets, which I believe are a little bit longer, so the board hangs down a little bit, and they're actually wider, support the wider board. So it was worth a thought, but in a way I'm glad it didn't work out. So I'm going to get the cutters and cut these straps up. One package the hardware, make sure I have everything. Then I'll take you underneath and show you what it looks like under there. So I'm off to a really good start. Managed to bust a socket. So now I got to use compressed air, which I was hoping to avoid. So so that's not a good start. So if I put these running boards on, I must really torque the shit out of them. So I'm going to use an impact driver here. It's the 13/16 socket. So I'm going to use the big boy in this one here. But let me show you what I'm after here. This is the one right here. First one I tried, and actually broke the socket. I cracked it, so I have to get my brother to replace that one. It's under warranty, so it's no big deal, but I was just blown away. So this one is body mount, so there's 6 of them just like this here. Let's see here. A little claustrophobia sticking in here. Here's the other body mount. Then we got this def tank. And there's one over here. So this is the harder of the 2 sides, I think, but some of the ones I was looking at required some removal of a bolt in the def tank, but yeah. So yeah, I'll probably just set the camera up and you can watch me waddle around on the underside of the truck here. All right. Long bolt. So far, this gets an F for installation. This particular truck is a 2014, and I specifically asked the seller, being it was listed only for 2013, eBay kept saying it wasn't compatible with my truck. He said, yep, it still works because the 2014 2500 and 3500 HD is still at the 2013, so it'll still fit. And what I'm finding is that the instructions aren't updated, and I don't have some poles they're talking about, so I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to be doing yet. But meanwhile, enjoy me flopping around on my back. Finally. So my overall thoughts on installation of the iBoard, I'm not so sure if I'd recommend it. If they're actually missing a lot of information in the instructions. I don't have some of the holes that it talks about in the actual mounting of the body. There's supposedly some slots, as I showed you earlier, where you're supposed to be able to take this bent bracket and catch it on the slot. And then another one, where the hole is on mine, the bracket isn't long enough and bent far enough to actually reach that hole. So I'm assuming there was some minor engineering changes in General Motors from 2013 and 2014, but still the same generation as far as body style. So I'm kind of blown away that this actually doesn't fit as it's supposed to. Now, I'm going to contact the seller and maybe the manufacturer as well and get some details on that. They may say that there might be some modification. I do have a bracket that's still bolted to the bottom of the truck, and I don't know if they're actually factory mounting bolts, but I can't get at the heads on the other side, and one's partially loose, so the welds broke loose or what. But if I can use that bracket for the center, I will do that. I'll just drill a new hole into the new iBoard bracket to give it more support. Overall, they're pretty sturdy, but I'm a little disappointed because even on the instructions, it says, "This instruction is for your reference only. We strongly recommend that professional installer for best results. We are not responsible for any damage caused by installation. Thank you for choosing our product." You know what I say? F you. That's what I say. This shit actually pisses me off, and I should have known better when I paid $230 for a set of running boards, and normally they're at least $350. I was thinking, there's a good deal behind this, and I saw some reviews on YouTube. Some people liked them. I didn't really do a Google search as far as any forums or anything, but I thought, you know what? Hey, they're wider. It's what I wanted. And the sad part is all the installations I saw actually showed it mounting to the rocker panels, versus this one here actually mounts to the body mounts, which is what the old style did as well. So, like I said, I'm not really sure where this is leading me yet. I got to get the specs and make sure I get the frame tightened up, or the bolts in the frame tightened up properly. I'm going to go ahead with the other side. I'm pretty sure you don't need to see me flop around my back for that one. So I'll basically turn the camera on once I'm done with the other side. Anyway, so this might be one more of my frustrating videos, and the reason being is that you spend this kind of money, this should be plug and play, and what I'm finding right now is it's not plug and play. Okay, so you may wonder my overall thoughts on the installation of the 6-inch iBoards by APS. I'm going to give you an overall rating. I'm going to break it down from there as well, and my overall rating might not be an average, but it's just kind of how I feel about it. I'm going to give this an overall B- in the letter grading. Just for the simple reason that there's a lot of mixed information in the illustrations / instructions, and at the same time there's parts in this kit that I could not use with this 2014 3500 HD, even though it's the exact same body style generation as the 2013. I think GM made some very minor changes, or the brackets I was sent weren't the right ones. So luckily I still have a bracket from the old Nerf bars yet that is right parallel with the middle bar here, so I could drill into the new iBoard bracket and use the slot in the previous cab bracket and give it some extra support in the middle here, which is pretty much what's going to take a lot of the beating anyways. But ironically enough, the Nerf bars I took off only had a bracket in the middle. There was no supporting brackets on the end like the iBoards were requiring or showing how to do. So overall, a B-, but the illustrations and instructions, total fail. They just, they don't follow very well, and there's a lot of misprinted information. The illustrations weren't that great. and then to kind of cover their tracks as far as protect themselves, it basically said at the bottom of the that this was designed as guidance but should be done by a professional installer. You know, that's kind of bad on their behalf because they're selling it wholesale to customers, to eBay sellers and online sellers. So the fact that they're saying, oh, but it should be installed by, you know, a professional installer or whichever, that's kind of a bunch of crap, because there's a lot of people that attempt to do this, and a lot of them are very successful at it. The problem is that this is a very simple installation for the most part, if the documentation and instructions actually speak the language in words that people can understand, as far as clearly indicate how, you know, this installation is supposed to go. Because I had 2 pages that had different illustrations, but it called both of them driver's side installation illustration. There was nothing for the passenger side, yet it was showing different brackets. And the fact is, it was showing me to use brackets in locations that I couldn't do because the holes weren't anywhere even close to lining up, which means that there probably was a very small change on the 2014 body mount versus the 2013. I could be wrong. That, or I got the wrong brackets, which is very possible as well. The other thing too is organization of the hardware. All the brackets and everything were wrapped up pretty nicely for the most part, but for all the bolts and the washers and the nuts and stuff, they just threw them all in one bag. That there is kind of a bad deal just overall, because what should have been done is they should have been individually sealed and packaged for groups for their intended you know, purposes. So all the bolts to hold the iBoard to the brackets should have been in a package. And then all these separate bolts for mounting the individual brackets should have been in a package. And there was some other miscellaneous fasteners that, once again, I couldn't use. It should have been in another package. So literally, all the hardware and bolts I used was for mounting the actual iBoards themselves. And I had to sift through this big bag of hardware that was useless to me, but I only needed the, I think it was 8mm bolts, washers, and locking washers. So overall, I'm going to give it a B-, just for a simple reason. It was a pretty simple installation, but I spent a fair amount of time trying to even read the instructions and define them as far as understand what it is they were talking about, because literally they didn't really jive as well as what they should have. Now, would they have worked better with a previous model year? Maybe. That I don't know yet. Even though I was told by the eBay seller these will fit the 2014 25 or 3500 HD, including the Denali. But as I mentioned, I still had some brackets that did not fit. So I'm going to find out from them and see, because these are not coming off. I'm not going through this again. So the only thing I will say is that all the illustrations I saw on YouTube showed that these iBoards had mounted using the holes in the backside of the rocker panels, but these here are actually frame mounted. So they actually use the long bolts that hold the cab to the frame. So if you're doing that, make sure you look up your specifications to make sure that you get those bolts torqued properly. In this case here, for these, it was 44 foot-pounds, so I actually went through and torqued them all, made sure that they were between 44 and 50 foot-pounds. And then I actually added Loctite to them again, because they were Loctited from the factory. So anyways, so that's my overall thoughts, and you can see here in these illustrations that I've been showing you, you know, how nice the truck does look with them. It's kind of a hybrid between a running board and a Nerf bar, and quite frankly, I think the style actually looks pretty nice for the most part. So we'll see how long they hold up, because they did advertise them as a solid aluminum running board, but they are no means solid. They are actually hollow. You can actually hear it. That's hollow. But overall, I'll show you here. They do hold up pretty well. So there's a little bit of flex there, but that's kind of to be given. Alright guys, hope you guys enjoyed this somewhat of a how-to video. It was more of a just kind of like a vlog maybe, and kind of just a demonstration if you will. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. Questions and positive comments are welcome. Alright guys, thanks for watching.